Welcome to another episode of the Family Movie Challenge Podcast. With me, one of your hosts, JP, and my co-host. At least you're not smelling the microphone this time. Chas.
I'm trying to drink water.
Chastity just spit a loogie in her mom's face on accident.
And she's now holding a grudge against me and wouldn't give me any of her.
Well,
M&Ms.
let's clarify. Chastity has now some oral appliances as she's getting her teeth straightened out. So
my teeth are straight. It's my jaw. Thank you. I have to get my teeth
and,
straight because the stuff in my mouth is moving my jaw, is separating my teeth. Thank you.
It makes things a little goofy, and she spit in her mom's face on accident.
You know what? And now she's being mean to me, but I've been complimenting her all day.
Oh, it's hilarious. All right, today's episode we are going to review the last movie in the A's. We're going to talk about a movie in the B's that we skipped, and then we're going to talk about the trilogy that we watched.
Oh, Baby Driver.
Yeah, we skipped Baby Driver, right?
So I know that movie. So
we kicked it off with Avatar, which was the last, of the A's, and then we skipped over Baby Driver because we've seen it a lot.
I've seen it a lot with my brother.
Right.
And
your brother loves that movie.
I already know,
and I really like that movie too, so I've watched it a million times.
It's decent. We'll
talk about it. I got to bring that one up too. And then we watched a trilogy of movies. We watched the Back to the Future series. So Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
I forget their names. Besides Doc. I like Doc.
And Marty.
Marty's too, Marty.
All right. Let's see. So Avatar, right? Let's talk Avatar. Avatar. I know you really like this movie. Avatar came out in 2009. Mm-hmm. So this movie came out.
Been like a decade.
Came out like 1 year before you were born, right?
I was born in 2009.
Right.
You don't even know?
No, you were born.
When I was born?
No, I can't remember anything.
2009.
Yeah, 2009. I know.
Yeah.
It's part of my...
Really? Really? Because you just forgot.
No, I didn't. Anyway, It's been a long day. I've been out in the woods hiking all day. Anyway, so let's see. It came out in 2009.
Yeah.
PG-13. It's 2 hours and 42 minutes. It currently sits at an IMDb rating of 7.8. Let's see. And it was directed by James Cameron and written by James Cameron, and he's working on all those crazy sequels. And it had Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, and Sigourney Weaver were the main stars. It also had the tall guy from Grandma's Boy, the computer programmer. We'll watch Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, I remember.
He's like, I am a robot and I hate your face.
Remember
that guy.
Do you remember that one movie? I forgot what it's called.
No.
Nick, the guy with the nunchucks. Oh yeah, your stuff was taking up room in my locker for my nunchucks. Do you remember that movie?
What, Napoleon?
Yeah. Yes. Oh my god, I love that movie. And then when he shoots the cow, and the guy shoots the cow in front of the kids in front of the bus, that's pretty funny.
No, my favorite part of that movie is when Uncle Rico is like, I used to be able to throw a football over those mountain ranges. Watch, I can do a kip. And he takes his stake, and then Napoleon's riding his bike towards him, and he throws it like a football and hits Napoleon in the face and off his bike. That part makes me laugh every time. Okay. Anyway, but we were talking about Avatar. Right? So it's basically about a guy that's a paraplegic Marine, and he has to go try to help out with this, like, we basically took over an alien planet, and we're trying to mine for unobtainium.
Which the planet was full of, and they were trying to mine that, but
but the natives weren't too happy about us being there, and they're gigantic, like 17-foot tall blue people.
They're 10 foot.
10-foot tall blue people that throw spears the size of men.
No, they have arrows.
Their arrows are huge.
Arrows, spears.
Right, it's called Pandora.
Yes.
And then he's supposed to infiltrate them, but then he
got chosen.
He starts to fall for the one that he meets.
He got chosen
And
by
then-
her.
And
They
then
trained him, and then
he turns on the military because he falls in love with the people and their culture.
Imagine the love of your life being a
And then at the
9-foot
end-
alien into another.
And then at the end, he gets transferred into the actual Avatar body.
Yes, because he
And he becomes
defeats
one of these blue
God.
blue animal people things. Right. So, like, and we don't own this movie, so you won't know what I'm talking about. You might remember Last Samurai. But Avatar is often criticized for being Dances with Wolves with blue people. So we'll have to watch Dances with Wolves. You'll probably like it. But it's basically about a soldier that ends up taken captive and living with the native people, like whatever tribe was around him, and then marrying one of them and assimilating into the native tribe's ways, and then fighting against the white man. It's very similar, right? So a lot of people say that Avatar or even Last Samurai are basically Dances with Wolves, just in different situations. So I know you love Avatar. So
Yes.
we'll start with our ratings first. What would you rate Avatar?
Pretty good movie. It's like a 9 out of 10.
You give it a 9 out of 10. Okay.
You're gonna go by 8, aren't you? Aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Knew it.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how come 9 for you?
Well, I love the movie. I love the plot. You know what? The animation's like the green screen's pretty good. Did you know for the lady Grace that plays Grace?
Yeah, Sigourney
She
Weaver.
didn't want to actually smoke a cigarette, so they had to put a green screen.
Really?
On the cigarette, yeah.
Wow.
Because she didn't actually want to smoke one, so they did that.
Wow. Okay. That's actually pretty wild. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Did my research.
You've watched this movie a lot. Actually, the only reason we have it on Blu-ray is because you wanted it, so we bought it for you.
Yeah, and then I played it for at
Oh my
least
God,
2 months in my room.
Yeah, in your room, like every day.
Yeah.
I used to be like that when I was young too. I would watch movies
Well,
over and over and over
I
again.
play it when, I would watch it, but I would play it when I would go to bed because I like background noise. Because I wake up as soon as the background noise is off.
Yeah,
I wake up and I'm like,
like you're a grandpa. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing touching my TV?
hey, I was watching that channel.
Right. What did you not like about it? There's got to be something. You criticize everything.
I criticize a lot of things. I'm trying to really think, because it's a pretty good movie. Oh, I don't like the old guy.
Oh, the bad guy? You just don't like him because he's the bad guy. I mean, you're not supposed to like him.
I know.
If you liked him, then I'd be worried.
Some people find him I don't know about that.
So
Oh, I like his scar though.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good movie, but it's an original setting, but not an original idea. I do agree. I love The Last Samurai, but I can't deny that it is basically Dances with Wolves in Japan. It's a soldier that gets taken hostage and held in by the Japanese people, by the samurai, and then he becomes a samurai, and then he fights against the other people. It's the same thing. Same theme, basically. But Avatar was done good. There's some really cool pieces. I love the Banshees are sweet. Really want a Banshee.
I know. I want the big one. I forgot what it's called.
I never saw it in the theater in 3D, which I was supposed to be really good, but I've never seen it that way. And now it's in the theater again.
I want to watch the second one.
It's in the theater right now, 3D again. I think
The second one or the first?
the first one, and then the
second
second one.
one's coming out.
The second one comes out soon, and that one's going to be in 3D too.
Oh my god, I love this! I can't wait. You know what? I'm actually, to be honest, I'm a little bad about what they're gonna do in the second one. I hate the big dreadlocks on Jake.
Right.
They don't suit him.
I kind of want to go to the theater and watch it
Yeah,
in 3D,
that'd be
the
nice.
first one, but I kind of don't want to because I've already seen the movie a bunch of times.
The first one.
I want to. I want to see the first one in 3D, but I don't want to pay to go see it in 3D because I've seen it a bunch of times.
But I'm mad at what they're gonna do to his hair, and at the same.
Oh yeah, you don't like the dreadlocks.
See, they don't suit him. Like I can see them suiting someone else, but not him.
Okay.
And then also, I want to know what is a random human.
Well, I mean that's part of the intrigue of a new movie. I'm sure they're going to explain it all.
If this, I swear, I'm already like getting worried if this movie is gonna be good or
Oh, just don't worry about it.
I didn't. It's like giving me anxiety.
So I like the animation. The animation
Yep.
was pretty good. I would say now though, looking back, I mean the movie is over 10 years old. Looking back now on some of the animations, there was some of it I didn't think looked that good.
Yeah.
Like the big cat, like the big tiger one.
Hey, you
Right?
better be careful of that.
Its skin,
the Thanacore.
its
the
skin
Thanacore.
looked too glossy. It looked plastic, so that didn't look good to me. At least that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, well, look who the big criticizer is now.
Well, no, I'm
Don't
just
come
saying.
after my Thanacore. When I
Don't
first
come
watched it-
after your movie.
No, that Thanacore. I love it. I love it.
Oh, I know you do.
I would want one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Still
to
want to
think.
be friends with an
I
alien.
mean, it's an entertaining movie, and it's worth a watch. You know, here and there. It's something like if it was on, I would just watch it. You know, and I mean, even though you watched it like a million times,
I watched it again.
you know, right? We watched it again.
It's a movie I can continue to watch, but like I can't watch it all day. I can watch it like a couple times,
Right.
like 2 times, and then I'm like,
I think too the other part that like what bothered me about the movie is the whole bad guy's motivation was like to get this unobtainium, but it really seemed like
they just wanted to kill them.
like blow stuff up was like such an
So-
extreme,
yeah.
and they were like ready to just go
So
there.
my thing about the whole tree is when they blew up the tree, you're basically damaging your obtainium. But like they were really just trying to kill them, if anything. It didn't seem like they were really after it.
It didn't seem like they were really worried about. I don't know. I just
It's like they
maybe
were just
because I'm
trying to
too
kill them.
moral than they were portraying the people in that movie. Because like I just couldn't like even as a soldier like what's her name, the girl that's the pilot,
Yeah, I
you liked
liked her.
her.
I wish she didn't die.
She turns and turns traitor, right? And she helps out the Navi, which is the blue people, the Navi,
Navi people.
right? She helps out the Navi, but all those other soldiers, like how could you just be slaughtering someone that's not even doing anything
Yeah,
to you?
they're just living in a big tree.
Yeah, it's weird.
You want that on your record?
I'm looking forward to the second one.
Me too.
Definitely.
Stressed out though.
I'm not stressed about it, but I'm definitely looking forward to it just to see where they take it. Because Dances with the Wolves doesn't have a sequel, so it's a new territory now. All right.
Hey, Dad. Dad.
Wow.
Sniff the mic.
No, I'm not sniffing the mic. Knock it off. You're so weird with that. People are gonna listen to this and be like, "Why is this kid sniffing the mic?"
They're gonna hear me slurping too. He'll make a good little slurp.
All right. So, Baby Driver. Let me pull up Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. I do know that movie pretty well.
Baby Driver came out in 2017.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2017. It's rated R. It's an hour and 53 minutes. It was directed by Edgar Wright and written by Edgar Wright. And it stars Ansel Elgort, John Bernthal, John Hamm. It's also got Kevin Spacey before his whole little fall, Lily James,
His little fall?
and Jamie Foxx.
What happened to his little fall?
Kevin Spacey was accused of like sexually assaulting other men. So he was literally like he was doing a movie, and they reshot every scene to get him out of the movie. He was the main character,
Kevin
and they had
Spacey.
yeah.
Was that the main character?
No, Kevin Spacey is the boss guy in this movie. The one with the little grandkid. That's like
Hold on. I'm searching it up. Keep talking.
yeah. You'll know him when you see him. You'll be like, oh, him. See.
He was. Oh, he was the. But he dies.
So if you have never watched the movie, but it is about this kid that's got tinnitus. His parents got in an accident. He's got tinnitus. So he listens to music all the time to try to drown out the ringing of tinnitus. So tinnitus is ringing in your ear.
I didn't
So-
know he had tinnitus.
Yeah, he's got tinnitus because he gets in a car accident when he's a kid.
Oh, I know that.
And he has the ringing in his ear, the tinnitus. So he listens to the music all the time to drown the tinnitus out. So to drown out the noise. It's like a hum in your ear, right? And then he like tried to steal something, or he stole a car, and the dude caught him, and he was this crime boss guy, and then he recruited him to be his driver to like pay off his debt of stealing his car. So he's the driver. He's the getaway driver. He can drive really good. And what's cool about the movie is everything's like kind of timed to the music.
Yeah.
Like, so that part's really neat. Even like the gunshots when they're in the gun battle, it's to the music.
Yeah,
It's like,
I thought that was pretty cool.
Like, it was really cool how they did it. But like the car, all the action, everything is set to the music that he's listening to.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple times where if you listen to the movie, when there's no music playing, you can hear a hum because that's the tinnitus. So they did it in the movie where you can hear it. I love Baby Driver. It's just a fun movie. It's not wholly like super original or anything. I mean, it's got some original ideas.
You're gonna give it an 8 out of 10, guaranteed. Yeah, just a minute. You're gonna do 8.
I would give Baby Driver a 9 out of 10.
Oh, you're just trying to prove me wrong.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 out of 10 is reserved for just some movies, right? Like for the best of the best. 9 out of 10 is like, I really like this movie. 8 out of 10 is, I like it. It's good, but it's not like I got to watch it all the time. Like, I will watch Baby Driver over and over again.
I can watch it once and then be like, yeah, no, thank you.
I think right towards the end, it kind of starts slowing down. Like the begin most of the movie, the pace is pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, it does slow down a little bit and gets almost like, okay, we were just doing all this cool stuff, and now it's like
it's just boring.
It's this love story thing going on at the end. I think Jamie Foxx does a really good job being a crazy bad guy. Bats.
I do think the action's pretty cool.
The action is cool. Yeah, the action's real cool. Yeah. Oh, and he's such a good driver. Like when they're doing the bank heist or the post office, whatever it was, and he hits the dude, he hits the cart into the guy with the van. So like he hits it with his van. He spins the van around and he smacks this cart so it hits the guy and knocks him down so he can't shoot. Like, does all this crazy stuff with his car. It's pretty sweet.
No, it was pretty good. I'd probably just give it a 8 out of 7 or a 10 because it's not a movie I would want to watch over and over again.
But is that because you watched it over and over again with Dylan?
No, it's that I'm just not that into it.
Okay. It's not your type of movie.
I would watch it once and then be like, yeah, I'm done today.
I would recommend it to anybody to watch once, at least.
Yes.
It's good enough that I would recommend to you just to go watch it once.
But I don't want to.
So, what did you not like about it that you can remember?
I'm just not into cars.
The what?
I'm just not into cars.
You're just not into cars?
Yeah. I am not into cars. Like, fancy cars.
But it wasn't like a fancy car movie. I mean, they were like stealing people's cars.
But I did like the action. Well, in the end was kind of boring.
He drove everything.
I was trying to say love
and drive, and he drove.
The love story at the end. It was kind of romantic, but like not at all. Not even close. It was like a pinch, like one little spice. Just yeah, I'm glad he got out of jail.
But did he? You don't really know because it's almost dreamlike.
Yeah, dreamlike. But you know what? How he
maybe he died on that bridge. Maybe they shot him.
You know how he gave the lady her purse? I thought that was sweet. I was like,
oh, what? When he stole her car and he gave her purse back?
He's like, here's your purse.
Yeah.
You went. Oh, that's what I don't like.
What?
The part where the lady dies, the girlfriend of the villain guy.
Oh, it's like, when she gets shot.
It's like, girl, why would you go out there in front of the cars
that seemed really
with your automatic gun and shoot like a bunch of cops that are already in front of you? Like,
that seemed like a suicide thing.
Yeah,
like, why wouldn't you just try to survive?
She wanted
I agree.
to die.
So she was behind the car,
and then she goes
shooting
in front,
and then she goes and steps out in front of the car, in front of like a squad of cops. And she just opens fire with this automatic gun, which she could have done from behind the cover of the car. She could have just like leaned over the roof or something, or over the hood, or she could have blind fired. Sure. This is Chastity holding the gun up over an invisible wall or invisible obstacle and just shooting towards the direction of her people, her enemies. That was her description of blind fire. Was just miming it out. Pretty funny. But yeah, like she could have done something that. It was really weird. To just walk right out in front of him.
I bet she wanted to be the main character in that moment, but she failed it.
For that one moment, the movie was about her.
She really wanted that main character moment. She really said, I'd be all cool, because she said something really cool before. It wasn't that cool.
I'm the star of my own movie.
She's like, oh, whatever. and it goes out there and just she dies. But she got shot a bunch of times.
She did.
That's her fault. And then the guy got mad at Baby Driver.
Baby.
Because Baby crashed into their car. It's like, sucker, it's not his fault that your girlfriend died because she's stupid and wanted to be the main character for a couple seconds. It goes in front of a car and gets shot. It's not her fault.
Okay, calm down. Quit
She
yelling.
was being stupid. That's the part I hated.
Quit yelling. Jeez. That was a loud swallow on the microphone. Jeez, are you okay?
You're gonna make me choke.
I'm not going to make you choke.
I can't laugh.
Quit gulping down water.
That was good. That wasn't gulping. That was me slurping.
All right. So the next movie in the B's was Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, and Back to the Future 3, right? So we watched all three of them. We didn't watch them back to back to back. We watched them like with a couple days in between or a day in between. We did notice, or at least I did this time, because it's the first time I've ever watched the second one and third one so close together, that I noticed things. I noticed the second one setting things up for the third one. But let's talk about the first one first. No, Back to the Future came out in 1985. I was 3 years old.
Oh. That's
Right,
how old
82,
you are?
so 83 I would have been 1, 84 I would have been 2, and 85 I would have been 3. Yeah, would have been 3. PG, 1 hour and 56 minutes. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis. He also wrote it along with Bob Gale. And it starred Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Leah Thompson. And it also had, God, what is his name? The dad, I can't remember what his name is right now.
Screw the dad thing.
He's an odd guy.
Let's just get into it deep.
It's basically a 17-year-old, and when I watched the comedy bit, it was pretty funny. But
You watch stuff without me?
he's a 17-year-old that's friends with like a 40 or like a 60-year-old man. Mm-hmm. He's a high school student that's friends with a 16-year-old like disgraced scientist.
Weird at all. You know what?
Honestly, and they don't explain how that relationship. Yeah, it's really weird.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
There's a comedian that does a whole joke about this.
I was thinking about when I was watching the movie. I was like, how did they meet? Like,
yeah, it doesn't even tell you.
They never explained how they met. How they
anyway, the
friends.
old man steals like some plutonium from this nuclear plant
because he wanted to test.
And
out
he
his time
told
machine.
some like Albanians or something. I can't remember what country they're from, but they're terrorists. So he tells the terrorists he's going to make a bomb, but really he just steals it to fuel his time machine that he built. And so he gets killed, and Marty gets sent back in time. And then the whole time, Marty is working with the past version of Doc Brown to try to get back. But he's got to make sure that his parents fall in love because
he screwed up their
accidentally.
relationship.
Yeah,
because his mom fell in love. Listen, we're gonna get into that. I gotta stop myself. I was about to go off on what I would do.
So basically, he's got to make sure his parents fall in love so that he actually exists in the future. And then they use a lightning strike because they knew when it was going to happen. They use a lightning strike to send him back to the future.
That's stupid.
And that's why it's called Back to the Future, because he had to get back to the future.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you rate this movie?
I don't know. I feel like it's like a 7.
A 7? Really? I'm going 9.
You know what? It's a good movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It's just Marty makes me so angry.
We'll talk about that in a sec.
Okay, so
it'd
probably be like
Marty did one thing in the movie.
It would probably be it. No, not just him. But he's also really dumb.
Okay, calm down.
Not to mention the mom thing. Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you all.
That was the mom. It wasn't him.
I know. I'm not gonna talk about him in that part. I would have said what he should have done. Like when she grabbed his leg, I would have. And put it back in her lap and got up and said, "Oh, I gotta go. Don't touch me."
So one thing you got to keep in mind, right? Different time then.
I don't care.
No, but I mean, when you
back then the man was the one that did everything.
No, what I'm saying is you have to remember when we watch these movies that it was a different time when those movies were made.
Yeah.
So like the Marty checking out the girls. Right in front of his girlfriend blatantly.
Whoa, that I would have broke up with him.
That's something that would have been humorous back then.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not humorous because if I would have saw, listen, this is not.
Yeah, but you see, but that's what I'm saying is like you have to remember that it's these movies are filmed. They were made. They're almost like snapshots.
Well, people were
back
terrible
in time,
back then,
and it was even worse before that. I mean,
That's very true.
we're continually
then-
trying to get better sometimes. Not all the times, it doesn't feel like.
Back then
but-
we were crappy.
But anyway,
Listen,
so what did you like about the movie?
Doc.
Oh, you love Doc Brown's clothing.
I love his jacket.
His
I
entire...
want jackets.
The entire movies, all three of them, she
want
was
them.
always talking about Doc Brown's jackets.
Jackets.
Like when
He
Marty
has
shows up at his house in the past
the
and he's wearing that
best.
like red and gold like
Oh my God! It was
Like,
it was black
like-
and like
robe.
silver, and it was wonderful.
she always liked
It
everything.
would
Even
match
in the
my
West
chicken
and
purse.
stuff in the third one
It would
and
match my chicken
in the
purse.
future stuff in the second one.
Oh my God! And that one in the cowboy. it's
You have this really weird obsession with Doc Brown's coats.
yes. I also have no.
Okay, what else did you like? Did you just like Doc Brown because of his coats, or did you like
No,
Doc
I
Brown?
liked him. I would
Why?
totally listen. Even though he's 60 and I'm 13, I would still be friends with him. It's just
I'm
would,
so glad that's what you said. I was like, whoa.
no.
Better pump-
I listen.
Whoa, don't yell. I was going to pump the brakes on you there, kid.
Listen. Back up. I would not say that.
Okay.
No.
Anyway,
No.
thank God. Thank goodness.
I would have been friends with him, but I would just watch how he acted around me and what he would say to me. That's it. But he didn't seem like a creep. We still don't know.
No, he's just goofy. He's
I was
this Looney Tunes old man
and
that
that's the
created a time
kind of
machine.
person I want to hang out with. I want to hang out with someone that has a couple.
Great Scots.
I want to hang out with someone that has a couple screws loose, not like bad screws, like they're off the rockets. I mean, like goofy.
Okay.
And I want to hang out with someone like that.
So what else did you like? What did you think about the special effects?
Oh, they're decent.
For 1985.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, that's almost 40 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for
Right. It holds up, right?
Yeah.
And it looks pretty decent on Blu-ray, but it holds up. It's a movie you can watch and actually it'll be like, oh, you're not like, oh, look how horrible that is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's not bad actually. It's not. I would probably give the rating actually an 8, but it's not a bad movie, and they did pretty good on it, to be honest.
Okay, so what did you not like?
So let's first start off with Marty with his girlfriend. In that point, so the two girls were like in yoga fits, like the old fashioned kind of.
Right, the old
And
spandex.
they both walk by, and while he's talking to his girlfriend, totally stares.
Oh,
at him,
he
and she grabs his
he
face.
blatantly-
And looks back. Listen, if that was my
blatantly
if-
checks them out,
if-
and then she has to grab his face.
If that was my boyfriend, I would have slammed his head into the cement. My anger issues could not handle. God.
So right off the bat, this happens within like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
First 10 seconds.
No, it doesn't, because
Yes,
the,
it
the
does.
first 10 seconds
And
is
she still kisses him in that time.
yes, the first
And-
10 seconds is him doing the speaker.
That's very true.
And then
But
he goes
she-
to school, and then he gets in trouble by the principal, and he's called a slacker, just
and
like
then
your
he-
old
you know
man.
what? And then guess what?
Then
He
that
fails
happens.
that band.
Yeah.
He fails that. You know what? I'm glad he failed that crap. He sucks.
Okay, you're
Actually, no, he
yelling
doesn't.
in my ear
You know,
that you just blew my
listen,
eardrums out.
He doesn't
Calm
suck,
down.
but he
You don't have to
does.
yell so close to the
I
mic.
know, but still, I want to get my point through.
You,
But
you're
she-
gonna get your point.
she
You're gonna blow
still-
out people's speakers.
She still kissed him after that. I would have shoved my hand in his throat and ripped out his
And it-
intestines to show him that he's as ugly in
Okay.
the inside as the out and the outside.
So what else did you not like? So I remember while you're sitting there thinking, I remember when they were setting up the plan
Oh yeah.
for how his dad was going to be the hero, and so Marty
Oh yeah.
ended up going. He was going to the dance with his mom, right? So he's trying to make his mom and dad
So
fall in love,
he was-
but his mom accidentally falls in love with him. So basically.
Oh, this is funny.
Basically, his dad was a peeping Tom. So this is the kind of humor back then. Oh, that's hilarious. So his dad was a peeping Tom, and he was climbing in a tree watching a girl get naked.
Oh my god. No, he was watching.
Was it her or was it
Yeah,
just
it
a
was
girl?
her because that's the same house. It was the same house.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I was sure.
He was watching a girl get undressed from a tree that was over a road, and he loses his balance. He falls out of the tree, and then this girl's dad hits him with his car, and then he says, "I hit another one."
Listen, Mike. Oh.
And so they take him in. Well, like that's what they were supposed to do, but since Marty's in the past now, he pushes his dad out of the way and he gets hit by the car.
Yeah, but why wouldn't
So
he
then
tackle
he's
his
the
dad
one that
so
gets put in.
no one gets hit?
Jazz, it's a movie.
Actually, I would have let him get hit.
It's a movie.
I would have let him get
It's a
hit.
movie. So anyway, he ends up in his dad's place. So then his mom, because she's just desperate for love.
I know, she was psycho.
She was thirsty.
She was
She,
thirsty.
she ends up falling for Marty because she was supposed to fall in love with his dad.
She was grabbing his leg.
She was all over
rubbing on him.
Yeah.
Listen.
She was all over him.
Imagine I went back in the past and I ended up at your house. If you even touched me one tiny bit, even if you went to hug me, I'd be like, nope.
So anyway,
Nope.
so the entire time his mom's trying to get with him.
Yes.
And he's trying to get his mom and dad to hook up.
I know where you're going to.
So anyway, they're trying to devise this plan. And Marty's going to the dance with his mom.
And said he's going to do something.
And he said he's going to make her upset. And then his dad was like, what are you going to do? And he was like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And then Chastity.
I yelled, I was like, is he going to grope his mom?
Yeah.
What is he going to do? Is he going to grope his mother? I was so worried.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, if he even does that.
But he doesn't, right?
He doesn't.
Biff. Well, one, his mom does try to kiss him and does kiss him. And then she's like, it's like kissing my brother. And then
like,
Biff's friends come and grab him and take him and lock him in the back of a car of the band. And then Biff tries to basically rape her.
Yeah.
And then his dad comes over and knocks Biff out, and he's the hero.
Yeah, hallelujah to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And then he plays some really crazy rock music. So you didn't like that part because you're like you thought that it was all really weird. The whole movie was about one part of the movie was about the mom being madly in love with her own son.
I don't know why he would let his mom even touch him because he didn't do anything.
You're really hung up on that.
No, because it's like if that was my parents, I would just.
You're really so. There's a dinner scene where they end up sitting next to each other at dinner, and she slides her hand on the table and starts rubbing his thigh, and then he freaks out and he stands up.
And leaves.
He stands up and he leaves. That was him doing something.
Yeah, but I would have done worse than that.
Well, he knew he wasn't supposed to try to mess with anything.
He already did. Because Doc already told him that his parents fell in love. No, actually, their mom and dad did. Sorry, I got that messed up. Sorry, Doc. Anyway, so the mom told them how they fell in love, that her dad got hit, and she fell in love with him, blah, blah, blah. So if he knew that was his dad, why would he not let him get hit? Maybe he needed to knock his screw back in place.
Because he wasn't thinking.
I don't care.
He was acting on instincts. Anyway.
Also, when he touches that, why would you just push him and stand in front of the car like a boulder? You could have just tackled him.
Guess you wouldn't know unless you're in the situation.
You know what? I should.
Right.
Put me in that situation.
No.
Yeah. That car was going pretty slow, if you ask me.
All right, so the things that I liked.
Let me drink without choking.
It's a fun movie. Yeah, there's some things that didn't age well, but that's because times have changed, and that's what happens. Right, but you can't get upset about that. That's how things were back then.
Did you hear
All we can do is I heard it. All we can do is just try to do better going forward, right? I thought the music was good. The style was good. It's just an overall. It's a fun movie.
I'm not gonna lie, the 80s have good style.
Now, they're. Had it and it's gone.
Emo style.
No, the style wasn't stuff. It was good. No, I had a gripe.
No, I'm saying the clothes.
I had a gripe, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, one of the things I really did like was how there were so many pop culture references. At first, when he crashed into the barn, the kid holds up a comic book, and it looks like the car kind of looks like that spaceship, and he's in a helmet, a radiation suit, and looks like the alien on the cover, so they think he's an alien. Or how when he tries to scare his dad's a sci-fi writer, so he puts on his radiation suit again, and he plays the music in his ear, and he tells me he's Darth Vader, and he has to go ask this girl who's gonna blow up his mind and all this stuff. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
I liked how they did that. What else? Yeah, Doc Brown's just hilarious.
Doc is always
Doc
slays.
I love when they do the model, and then the car catches on fire because the electricity thing works, and then it flies into the bin of rags and lights up, and he's like, oh! like does that face. It cracks me up. What I didn't like, man, there was one thing I really didn't like, and I can't remember what it was now.
No, you poor soul. I can tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like
What?
Marty.
Yeah, we know that. Now, did your opinion of Marty change by the end of the third
No.
one? Why not?
No.
It was still bad.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts so bad to sit right now.
I can.
Oh, my Lord.
My tailbone hurts. I can forgive, but I can't forget.
Such a goof. So, we'll talk
Still
about the
hold
second one now.
grudges.
Yeah, forever.
On multiple people.
Forever. So Back to the Future came out in 1989, so 4 years later. So the first one came out in 85. The second one came out in 89. This one is PG, an hour and 48 minutes. And basically,
Is this to the future?
this is the future one.
Okay,
So
yeah.
now, so in the first one, they went to the past and he was trying to get back to the future or the present. And then this one, they actually go to the future because Doc Brown at the end of the first one, Doc Brown
Comes and
he actually listened to. So Marty left him a note before he left,
yeah, he listened to
and
it.
the note told him that he was going to die. So he wears like a bulletproof vest,
Yeah.
so he doesn't really die. And then he goes into the future.
I knew he
At the
didn't
end.
die because I saw no blood. I was like, that sucker did not just get shot 5 times and didn't die.
Then
There's no blood.
Then at the very end of the first one, he comes back from the future and he's like, "You and your girlfriend have to get in the car because this involves you and your kids, and we got to go into the future." And then he's like, "But Doc, you don't have enough road to get up to 88 miles an
here
hour."
we go.
And he goes,
Here we go.
"Where we're going, we don't need roads."
You messed it up. See,
yeah,
that's your
you messed
favorite.
up because you started talking with me at the same time.
Then let me do it because I'm
Where
better.
we're going, we don't need roads.
Hey, you forgot the glasses. Hold on.
Yeah, he puts the glasses down. Oh, you're doing the actual glasses down. Only his glasses are like stainless steel metal.
Where
looking
we
ones.
go, we don't need roads.
And then it turns into a hover car and takes off.
And then they take off into the
Goes in the
air.
future.
So
So,
they were going back to the future because his son did something stupid.
let me finish talking about it real quick. So the director again was Robert Zemeckis, and he was also the writer along with Bob Gale again. It had Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, and then
Switched the girlfriend.
Elizabeth
irritated about that.
Shue. So Elizabeth Shue ended up being in this. It did, yeah. They switched her out.
I don't know why. 'Cause
I
the
don't know
other
why
one-
either. I mean,
like the
obviously
other
there's a
one.
reason, but like I can't imagine that the original actress was very happy about someone else taking her place.
Yeah, I would have been mad.
Yeah, but Elizabeth. I mean, it was good for Elizabeth Shue. That was a huge role. I mean, the franchise
Well, good for her.
did pretty well.
Good for her.
But so now they got to go to the future to prevent their son from getting arrested
And then screwing up their whole entire family.
and screwing up like the whole family. It's
Because
like,
he gets fired. His sister goes to jail for something. I forgot.
yeah,
He
like a
said
bunch
like
of stuff.
yeah, all that stuff happened.
Oh no, the older son went to jail. Or no, Marty went to jail. The
So,
sister
Marty
tried to break him
Jr.
out. She went to jail.
Yeah, Marty Jr. went to jail,
The older one, something happened to. Yeah,
and then the dad got fired, which is
there's a
fine.
bunch of bad stuff.
Yeah, so a bunch of crap went down. Crap hit the fan, and so they were going back to the future to fix it, and they did.
No, they didn't. What happened? Biff.
No, they fixed his kid, but
Well, they
Biff,
fixed the kid,
Biff,
but future old
Biff-
man Biff steals the time machine, goes
And-
back in the time, and gives
Oh my
himself
God,
a sports
I won't
almanac
lie.
so he can become rich. And then when they go back to then he comes back, drops the car off, and he has a heart attack and dies, basically.
See,
And then when they go back to the present of 1985, everything is like a disaster, and Biff is like all powerful in America.
yeah,
And
so
he's got like this huge casino and stuff because he was able to be the luckiest man on earth because he won everything because he knew what was going to happen.
something about me. I was imagining myself in the position of Marty when he went back in the whole entire place. One, that sucker was like, everything's still normal. Well, his whole entire when you first walk in, like big like gate things. were spray painted
at his
and
neighborhood.
it looked terrible. And that stalker was like, "Oh,
yeah, you figure when you pull into your neighborhood, and you see spray painting and stuff all over the place, and it's all destroyed.
I would immediately, because I was putting myself in his position in my head.
Yeah, like when they drop the girlfriend off on the porch, how do they not realize that like the neighborhood was that bad?
Yeah, and then when he went into the house, and the girl,
he goes, "Oh, I didn't remember bars being on the window before."
And they went to the house of that one girl, and he goes in the room, and that dad starts shooting at him.
Oh, well, he goes into his house.
Yeah,
but it's not his house because now the past had changed, or the present had changed because they messed with the future. Yeah. Or because Biff wouldn't mess with the past. Yeah. So then it goes from being a movie about going to the future, and it turns into a movie of going to the future and to the past to fix the present.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
Because then they got to go back in time to try to steal the almanac so that Biff doesn't end up becoming all powerful to put things back the way they were supposed to be.
Yeah. God, I got multiple.
And they had to like time it so that like old Biff didn't realize it.
Yeah,
because
his old self didn't see him, and so did Doc's old self not.
So there was literally at one point there was 2 Docs, two Martys, and 2 Biffs.
Yeah.
Running around back in 19.
The old Biff already went back.
55.
The old Biff already went back, like in the partially in the middle. Old Biff already went back.
It was all over the place.
Yeah. It was kind of a psycho movie.
And it was cool. I liked how in all 3 they did the same sequence. Went to the pop store, went to the little cafe place, went to the bar in the third one, right? Gets chased around the whole square.
Yeah, they did do that.
Right? Someone ends up in manure at some point.
In every movie, Biff ended up in
manure. Every movie, Biff got manure.
I hate
manure.
Maneuver?
Manure. You said maneuver. But yeah, so I really liked how they kept some of those themes going. Mm-hmm. So there was things that happened in the second one that I didn't realize they were foreshadowing the third one. So at one point when Biff's in the hot tub with the 2 girls and Marty walks in on him, he's watching a Clint Eastwood movie. And in the movie, Clint Eastwood gets shot and then reveals that he had a metal plate on his chest that stops the bullets, and then he kills the bad guy. Yeah. Which Marty later does that exact thing in the third movie, except that he doesn't kill Biff. He just beats him up with his fists.
Yeah, I would have shot him dead.
But Marty didn't want to do that. That wasn't Marty.
So get rid of that.
But that wasn't Marty.
I would have been brutal. I would have been like my Red Dead character.
Marty.
I would have been like Davina Rose.
So there was that foreshadowing. There was also the foreshadowing, or it wasn't so much foreshadowing. It was a repeat because it happened in every thing. But the game. Remember, there was when he went to the future. There was the game inside the cafe place,
and it's a crack shot,
and it was a shooting game, right? And then he does it for real in the Wild West. In the third one, he actually shoots a real gun at the thing, and he's like, "Wow, wow, 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 wow!"
Crack shot.
Yeah, they didn't call him a crack shot though in the third one.
Here's what kills me
about the second one.
All of them.
Okay.
This is heavy, Doc. Oh, it's so heavy.
No, it was great.
God. This is heavy.
So Chastity really...
Wow, this is really heavy.
Chastity really didn't like...
Shut up!
Okay, wow.
Sorry, that was loud. I heard that.
Yeah, that hurt. I heard an echo.
Me too. I'm so sorry.
Stop. I got to go back and edit that down. Okay, get off the mic. You don't have to eat it. A fist away. Fist away. There you go.
Is that good?
Yes, it's so much better. No, you see, you messed me up. I can't even remember what I was going to say now.
But no, it's when they switched and the Doc said heavy and he said...
Yeah, so that set up a joke. But, I mean, it was funny because Doc always said Great Scott. Mm-hmm. And Marty always said heavy. And it was funny because in the first one, when he went back in time and he would say heavy, Doc was like, why do you keep saying that? Does everything in the future weigh more? Is gravity different? Like, It was funny because he was taking it literally. But then by the end of the third one, there's a scene in which they switch. And Marty goes, Great Scott. And then Doc Brown's like, heavy.
But the thing about Doc Brown is that he never really, said Great Scott as much as Marty said, this is heavy, Doc.
I don't know, maybe.
if you go back in that movie and you rewatch all three, you can count.
So it was just
I'll
cool. It was
count.
just cool how there was running things that happened across all three movies. Because even like in the future, when Marty runs from future Biff's grandson, when he runs from Biff's grandson, even old man Biff says, he goes, "I feel like this is really familiar." Like, because it's exactly what happened to him before.
Yeah.
Like, Marty runs to the scooter girl, but only this time it's a hoverboard instead of roller skates on a board. You know, like, and then in the third one, he gets caught. In the third one, he gets almost hung. But a lot of the history repeats itself, which was really cool. I thought that was a fun thing.
Can we rate it?
What did I not like? I think there was some of the CGI didn't hold up as well. Some of the green screen now, you can clearly tell in these movies when it's like they shot one scene and then they're doing a green screen and they're shooting the next
Like
one and
in
they're
the
editing them
third
together. The third one had a couple really bad moments.
You see that one where, in the party?
A couple of them were really bad.
Oh my God, that one was terrible.
Yeah.
He was a whole different color. He was orange.
He was a totally different color. So some of that stuff didn't hold up. In the second one, it wasn't as noticeable, but in the third one, it was. One thing I didn't like was how easily this guy was willing to screw up his entire life because someone called him chicken.
Yeah, like...
And it took until the third one for all this crazy shit to happen for him to realize, like, it's okay. He's just some, it's just some person, some asshole.
Honestly,
what do I care?
He's a chicken for that, like... It's chicken, okay? I own a chicken purse. That would be a compliment.
What the heck are you talking about?
No,
always with this chicken purse.
Listen.
Chastity bought a chicken purse, and
Yes.
she thinks it's the best thing ever.
It is the best thing ever. Hey. No, but, like, imagine someone calls me chicken. I'm just going to be like, okay. I like chicken, so works with me.
So, another thing that I didn't really like about the second one, what did we rate it? So the first one I gave it a 9. And you said a 7.
No, I switched to 8.
You switched to an 8. Okay, so what do you rate the second one?
I got a burp. Loading. I could give it an 8.
I'm going to say an 8.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you say an 8?
It's decent. It's like a decent kind of movie.
I say an 8 because the first one's a classic because it was fresh. It was new, right?
It was new. But
the second one does some things better, but it also gets really busy because there's multiple timelines.
Yeah, and it kind of confused me at one point.
So then it kind of gets harder to keep, like...
Your brain has to really work hard to keep up.
Because it's messing with multiple timelines.
I had to use more than one brain cell.
Because it starts in the future, then it goes to the present, then it goes to the past, and then it comes back to the present.
Future.
Did it go back to the future, like the future?
I think it went.
Or did it go just back to the present?
Present, I think.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
it
know.
goes
See, I don't know.
future, present, past, present.
It was too much for me.
So there's a lot of timeline hopping. The thing that it did at the very end, I didn't like. And I don't know, and I said this to someone else that's a big movie fan too, and I don't know if I've ever seen this in another movie that was in a trilogy or in a series, but at the end, Doc Brown gets struck by electricity.
Oh, I remember.
Right? And that's how he ends up in the Old West. He gets struck by electricity in a storm when they're trying to get back to the present. And Doc Brown disappears.
And then he gets the telegram for the thing.
So the second one ends with Doc Brown disappearing in the DeLorean because he gets struck, and then Marty being trapped in 1955.
A guy comes,
and then a guy shows up,
like a telegram or like.
But that didn't happen until the very beginning of the third one. So at the end of the second one, it's just Marty trapped in 1955. Doc Brown disappeared, and then it does a to be concluded, which is just a weird way of saying to be continued is what everyone
just
does.
Put continued.
But it was like to be concluded, and then it showed a whole bunch of scenes from the third one. Like, all this happened at the very end of the movie, and it was really weird because it's something that you would see, like, in a TV show or something, not in a movie, right? So it was, I don't know if it was, like, to get everyone super excited for it, but it felt, like, cheaper a little bit. It kind of cheapened the experience. I didn't like that. So the third one, that's how it starts off. With Marty trapped in 1955, guy shows up, gives him a letter from 1885.
Doc saying, I'm well.
Right,
I'm
and it's from
alive.
Doc Brown, and because he knew exactly when he was going to be, Marty would be there on that road stranded, so he was able to send him a letter. And then Marty works with past Doc Brown to fix the time machine because present day Doc Brown that's trapped in the past, he stashed the DeLorean, so they're able to fix it, get it, and teleport Marty back.
Yeah, but then they saw a gravestone saying Doc's name.
That Doc Brown dies like 7 days later.
And so he went back and
he
get
goes
Doc.
back to try to save Doc Brown. Right.
Doc, you went?
So the second one came out in 1990, so a year later.
A third one?
So the third one came out in 1990. So 1985, 1989, and then 1990. It was PG, 1 hour and 58 minutes. So each one got a little bit longer, like 10 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Again, Robert Zemeckis was the director and one of the writers, along with Bob Gale, Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Mary Steenburgen. I'm trying to think of everybody else. Elizabeth Shue is in it again. This one's got an IMDb of 7.4. The second one was 7.8, and the first one is 8.5 for our IMDb's ratings. But yeah, so basically now Marty's going back in the past to try to save Doc Brown.
Yeah.
And then the DeLorean, what happened to it?
Gets wrecked in the end.
It did get wrecked in the end.
But in the beginning, the Indians...
they got to do it on the train.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to use a train because there's no gasoline. It's out of gasoline.
Because in the beginning,
there's no gasoline, so they use a train to push it to get it up to 88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But Doc falls in love, and
don't lie.
Biff's ancestor, Mad Dog Tannen, wants to kill Doc Brown over a horseshoe on a horse and something else.
Don't lie. I thought since Doc never really fell in love, I was like, is he gay?
Well, clearly not, because then he had two kids.
Yeah, but then he fell in love, and I was like, okay.
He was in love with the science.
I was like, okay.
He was in love with science until he met the teacher, Cora. What was her name? Clara, that's what it was.
I don't know.
It was Clara.
She played in Proposal. I know that.
Yeah, that's where you recognize it from. The mom in the Proposal.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yep. So anyway, he goes back in time. So they're in the Wild West. They devise a plan, and then at the very end, Clara was going to leave. So Tannen gets beat up, gets arrested, and then Doc Brown was about to get in the DeLorean, and then Clara shows up. And so then Doc Brown's trying to get her to come into the DeLorean because they passed the point of no return. But then she almost falls. Marty slips him the hoverboard. He saves her.
He carries her away canonically.
Yeah, Marty goes back to the present, and the train flies off the cliff and blows up. And then it was funny because in the entire movie, in the third one, he was telling everyone his name was Clint Eastwood, right? He wasn't saying Marty McFly because there was McFlys around. So he said Clint Eastwood. And the name of the ravine changed from like Clara Gorge to Eastwood Gorge because they named the gorge or whatever after someone that died or whoever it was that died in it. So he changed that.
The teacher was supposed to die, Clara.
And then so when he comes back to the present, the time machine gets destroyed like Doc Brown wanted. But then Doc Brown shows up in a new train time machine.
It's like you wanted to destroy it.
He wanted to destroy it, and then he makes a new one and shows up. And it was
kids. He replaced Einstein.
So what would you give this movie?
I'm mad about that. He replaced his dog.
Okay, what would you give this movie?
He replaced his dog.
No, he didn't. He came back and got Einstein. That's what he said. He goes, so he had to come back and get Einstein.
Oh, okay.
So what would you rate this movie?
8 out of 10.
You're giving this one an 8?
Maybe a 7.
I dropped this one to a 7.
Yeah.
I feel like 9, 8, 7. Each one in succession goes down a notch.
Yeah.
The reason, okay, so why do you say 7? And I'll say why I say 7.
Green screen and the person.
So the green screen I can forgive.
I can forgive it, but it's like...
It was like, now it's glaringly obvious. It probably wasn't as bad back when it first came out, but because of HD video and all that stuff, like, that's probably why it's way more noticeable.
Next, the chicken thing.
What chicken thing?
The chicken thing when you call them chickens. Like, oh my God, shut up.
But he changed it, and he stopped.
He got over
it. He stopped being a hothead, right.
But still, it's like, it's chicken. It's chicken. Why is that so offensive?
So this is what...
Guess what, Dad? You're a chicken.
This is what bothered me the most. Is throughout the whole first one and second one, Doc Brown is so gung ho on you can't interact with anyone, you can't change anything. It could upset the balance and it could destroy the whole universe. Like the whole time, right? That's all he's ever talking about, telling Marty that you can't do this, you can't interact with them, don't do these things. But then in the second one, he comes back to get Marty to interact in the future, right?
It's like
so he comes to get Marty to mingle with time, and then in the past, the same thing. Like he freaks out that he saves Clara because now it's not called Clara Gorge or whatever, and he's like, "Oh my God, she was supposed to die." But then he has no problem mingling with other things too.
Yeah, it's like Doc.
So it was. I mean, I don't know. It was kind of weird that he was always telling everyone else not to mingle with the timeline, but then he was out there just mingling away.
I won't lie. I think when I was thinking about it, I was like, I wonder what these horses and these dogs are thinking. I wonder if they're like, what the heck
You
is
said
going
in the second one when all the bikers are driving by and
there
there's a dog on the car.
And the dog,
And the dog hops off and she's like, I wonder what the dog's thinking right now.
I was like, I bet that dog's like, what the heck?
Fist away. Yeah, see? Wasn't a fist away. Back up. You keep trying to eat the mic.
Is this good?
No, that's too far. Come on.
About now.
You can move it closer to you if you want to sit back, but just about a fist away. So you see, you got some room. Okay, you're such a goof.
No, but I bet you that dog was like, what the heck?
Probably.
I just want food. I just want a treat.
Probably.
I'm a good boy.
What is impressive though is like, clearly they filmed that on a train with horses.
Yeah.
So like to get the horse that close to the train and stuff is kind of cool. I mean that must have taken a lot of work.
They really desensitized it.
Yeah, they have to be able to do that. Holy
they probably
crap.
ran it by a train a couple times.
Jeez. But yeah, so it's the green screen, that whole thing. And like, he's like, I want the time strain. Just destroy this infernal thing. Just destroy the time machine.
But create
and then so it gets destroyed. And then he creates a whole new time machine.
It's Doc. It's like Doc. No.
He couldn't help himself.
I know, but it was stupid.
That
made me mad about
that
Doc.
part was like, oh man, you finally had what you wanted, but then you went and made a new one so you can go mingle around
But guess what, Dad?
Mingle around with time again.
Guess what?
What?
He's still.
And he was mad at Marty for trying to make a quick buck with that almanac, and then he's over here making multiple time machines and shit.
But Doc still.
Sorry for swearing.
Had us. I don't care.
Well, no, for the audience. I don't swear in this show, or I try not to. Go ahead.
Doc still always slayed his outfits.
That's what you said.
Slayed.
And then when Doc was dancing with the girl and like basically like swept her off her feet, you were like, Doc can close. So what we learned from these movies is that Chastity's a huge Doc Brown fan.
No, I love his coats. And he is funny. I want someone like that. But I don't want them to be as stupid as in the last movie. Like, oh, destroy the time machine. Don't mess with time.
So if you're going to recommend people... Go ahead.
And build another time machine to go mess around with more time.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
It's like, no.
Again, I loved like the running themes throughout. And I loved how in the second one they foreshadow the things that happened in the third one.
Yes.
Would you recommend just one of these movies, all of them?
I would recommend all of them.
Okay. So
but mainly the first one.
I would definitely recommend the first two.
The first one and
if you were gonna miss one, but see that's the thing though, is like you can't leave two on a cliffhanger like that. You got to know what happened, so you got to watch all three. Well, definitely see the first one, but I mean just really commit.
I would admit
your future self. Your future self will thank you for watching all three because they're entertaining. If you have not seen them before, so Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3.
Back to the Future is like classic.
It is classic.
I don't know how someone couldn't.
It is classic. It's fun. And that was what you said after the first one. You were like, this is a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
When they put work into it.
So.
They did pretty good, though.
They did.
They did.
All right. Real quick. Let me go to the home.
You can put some beats
We'll see if we can do this.
What?
So there's a new movie trailer out.
Oh. Are you going to show me it, or are you just watch it yourself?
No, we shouldn't do it because I don't want to get any copyright stuff.
Yeah.
I'll show it to you afterwards, but it's the new Mario movie.
What's that?
There's a new Super Mario movie.
Oh, Super Mario.
Yeah.
We got to watch the new Sonic.
Yeah, we haven't watched that yet. But that's all 4 movies. So out of Avatar, Baby Driver, and the Back to the Future movies, which one was the best out of this batch?
Avatar.
Avatar? You're going Avatar all day, huh?
Yeah.
No even consideration? I'm going to say out of all of them, Back to the Future was my favorite. Out of all these ones.
That would be my second.
My second would be Baby Driver.
How dare you? I want a banshee. I forgot what the big banshee's
Oh,
called.
I know.
I want a Thanator. I just want it. Oh, imagine being able to tame the big hammerhead thing. I forgot what they're called. Because, like, their armor is bulletproof, so you can put some beats on.
I am. Well, go ahead. You were talking.
I told you already.
I was trying to get us ready for the end. It's an hour. We talked about actually 5 movies. Chas is totally lost in the music. Why are you trying to eat the microphone again? Oh my lord!
I won't eat it.
We're gonna get this one of these days. Any last words, Chas, before we sign off for the night? Well, join us next time on the Movie Challenge podcast, brought to you by the Get Up. Join myself, JP, and my lovely co-host, Chas. Right? Join us next time as we review the next batch of movies. We are in the B's, and there's some really good ones coming up. So tune in to hear us talk and discuss those movies. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Why? Oh, it's just a beat now. It's just a